What is up, everyone? I hope you're having a beautiful day, a blessed day, and let's jump into this interesting topic. How do I go about turning to God? This person writes, long story short, I'm going through a really rough time right now, and I've been trying to turn to God. I feel like I'm at my rope's end, and this feels like my last resort to try and feel like I have a life worth living. The thing is, I really don't know how to do this. I am so new to all of this. I bought a Bible. I try to read it every day. I try to talk to God, but at the moment, it's really just me talking in my head. Am I doing this right? Am I supposed to talk out loud? What should I be expecting to feel or hear? How do I know I actually have that connection with God? I am so very lost, and any kind of guidance on things I could be doing different if things I'm doing wrong would be so helpful. I think this is a great comment. I think so many people right now more than ever are turning to God and they need this advice. So if you could please comment down below and help this person on how to go about turning to God, I think it would be very enlightening for everyone. I would like to hear it, as I'm sure other people would benefit from hearing your perspective on things. That being said, I think that this person is doing exactly what they should be doing, exactly the way they're supposed to be doing it. Not to get super dramatic, but everything is happening for a reason, and this is part of God's plan. Even you sitting there just thinking about, am I doing it right? Is this the right? It's all part of the beautiful journey. And anytime you've started anything that's been worthwhile or worth achieving, it's always a struggle in the beginning. Take, for instance, basketball. Maybe you got good at playing basketball. In the beginning, you can't even dribble, and you wouldn't run up to a little kid that is learning to dribble and make fun of them or criticize them or say that they'll never become, uh, you know, a good basketball player. You would just understand that they're early on in their journey. And if your intentions are good and you're trying to connect with God, then every little misstep is actually leading you in the right direction. Even if it's something that isn't your preference, like you're like, ooh, maybe I won't scream out my window when I'm praying, you know? That's okay. That's just learning your preference. And to each their own. If you want to sing your prayers, I think God would enjoy that. If you want to just say them in your head and it just feels like you're talking in your head, that's where you're at right now, and that's okay. Honestly, I feel like it's more about the journey than the destination. It's not about automatically doing things right. It's about growing as an individual, growing that relationship with God. And as long as you're keeping him in your heart when you're praying and throughout the day you're really trying to live by his words and be the best version of yourself to make God proud, that's it. That's all you have to do, in my opinion. It's not about saying this prayer or that prayer or saying it out loud, or it's not who can pray the loudest, right? It's about who can live the words. And in some ways, you're growing into that version of that whatever you have in your head where you're like, man, I just want to get to where, I really know all the prayers and I say them in a strong voice and I'm not ashamed to say them around other people that aren't religious, and I'm just, I have a cool, necklace with a cross on it. Whatever you have envisioned for yourself, you'll become that person. And part of it is just thinking about it, trying to examine and like almost manifest that version of you that is what you think, you know, like the religious version of yourself. And I got kind of, ahead of myself a little bit. I'm just saying I think you're exactly where you should be and that we're all on our journey, and it's a beautiful journey. It's God's plan for us. And if you're letting God into your heart, it doesn't have to be, an instant. It doesn't have to be a bolt of lightning. You don't have to get struck by lightning necessarily to have a connection with God. It can be something that grows like a beautiful little flower in the ground that suddenly becomes an amazing garden that, gives you so much joy and just grace in your life. So I really hope that for you. Please, though, don't let this just be my opinion. I want to hear what other people have to think. What do you think they should do about how to go about turning to God? I would like to read these comments as well. I've been considering the same thing. I think and I have a lot of room for improvement, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm just excited about the journey. I now realize that by getting great at anything, you first have to start out and feel a little foolish. It feels kind of foolish when you don't know how to play basketball. It feels kind of foolish when you don't know how to read and pray correctly. But at the same time, I think it's all part of the journey, and it's actually a very beautiful journey. And you'll someday look back on this stage and hopefully smile. But that's my take on it. Hope you're having a great day. Please comment down below on how they should go about turning to God. But at the end of the day, I think we're all just on our own journey and doing things in a very unique and beautiful way that God would be proud of. If your intentions are pure, I think God's right there with you. But as always, have a good one. See you next time. Peace.